I love to cook. I cook all the time, but sometimes it's confusing which oils to use for which purpose.
Yeah.
And I want to know once and for all, settle the debate.
If you're cooking, you're either using grapeseed oil
Okay.
or you're using olive oil. You want to expand from that. You want to use coconut oil. You want to use macadamia nut oil. You want to use avocado oil. All great.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah. And then you want oil that you're going to use for like flavoring and finishing. So you want a finishing olive oil. So
What
like
would be the difference between a finishing olive oil and another olive oil?
the quality of the oil is going to be different. The flavor of the oil. You want the first press. You want the extra virgin olive oil. I almost cook everything exclusively in olive oil, except if I don't want olive oil flavor. So say I'm making like Korean inspired, Japanese inspired, or I might use like a grapeseed oil, like a neutral oil, and then finish with the sesame oil. You want the dish to taste like sort of the region that it comes from a little bit as much as possible.
What about people who keep talking about like soybean oil? I hear it's not good for you, or
all of those like canola, safflower, vegetable oil, all of those oils are all overly processed.
Okay.
So anytime you want to talk about like the best oil for you, you want one that's the least processed.
Right.
Hear that? Get out of here, overprocessed oils. These oils are less healthy and potentially hazardous. They're extracted using either heat, which lowers their nutritional value, or chemical solvents like hexane, which are hazardous to humans. If the label says refined, it may be cheaper, but it's not as good for you as cold-pressed oils. Good oils, bad oils. Now we're cooking with nuance. Before we turn up the heat, this may be a good time to break down which fats are the real killers and which ones are being set up for crimes they didn't commit. Let's start with the criminal mastermind, trans fat. You usually find trans fat in processed foods that are made with hydrogenated oil. Although many trans fats are banned in US products, you can still encounter them. This bad boy is linked to heart disease, inflammation, and high cholesterol. So those are some pretty good reasons to lock up trans fats and throw away the key. Next up is saturated fat. You can find it in foods like meat, pastries, and ice cream. This type of fat isn't as harmful as trans fat, but still needs to be consumed in moderation, since too much of it can clog arteries and increase the risk of heart disease and stroke. So saturated fat? You're out on probation, but we're watching you. Now we come to unsaturated fat, or good fat. This kid was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. According to the Harvard School of Public Health, monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, which can be found in olive oils, avocados, nuts, seeds, and fish, actually lower our risk of disease. What's more, the National Health Service says that our bodies actually need these good fats to process vitamins, level out blood sugar, and make us feel full. All unsaturated fat wanted to do was be a part of your healthy diet, and now he's wasting away in a cell, locked up for someone else's crimes. So how do we address this injustice? I say let's slide back the cell bars on some of our fat friends and make them a part of a healthy lifestyle. In moderation, of course.